Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, our armed forces stand as a guard against every force wanting to harm India and its people. If we are safe today, it is because our jawans make a sacrifice for us. From making the supreme sacrifice when the nation requires it, to staying in the borders in challenging conditions. But today we discuss, have we become so comfortable in our lives that we've forgotten their sacrifices? Has the country forgotten what our jawans do for us? We want to hear from you. Do you think we accord the jawans the respect they deserve? Our call lines are open, but listen in to the stories that we're going to bring to you. And the reason why we are saying this is because of the 3 disturbing incidents that have been reported, all with the same pattern. In Bulandshahr, an Indian Air Force jawan and his father claimed that they were assaulted by a group of people. They claimed that people who were part of a wedding procession assaulted them following an argument over honking. The group, though, alleged that the father and son had hit a person in their group with a car, following which the situation escalated. This incident, which occurred on the evening of February 19th, has sparked outrage after details of the alleged attack and footage of the altercation began circulating on social media platforms. In Gurugram, a retired colonel thrashed with beer bottles, the car broken and goons extorting money after an incident of road rage. The retired colonel was thrashed with these bottles, and we've seen the kind of incidents that took place when there were 6 people who attacked the car when a former retired army officer who was part of this incident, in fact, he suffered a clot under his right eye and there's visible swelling. You can see that in the pictures as well. This is an incident that has taken place on the 21st of February at 9:45 p.m. In Kanpur, one of our braves was returning from a wedding and he was allegedly beaten up by police officials there. He claims that he was returning on foot when police officials stopped him and started questioning him. Soon it escalated to an assault. Head Constable Pradeep Kumar and Inspector Ravindra Bundela allegedly assaulted him, and he's now in the Air Force hospital undergoing treatment as well.
Let us speak to retired Colonel Yadav to understand what the incident was. Sir, we believe that a group of 6 drunk men assaulted you, and it was a case of road rage. What exactly had happened at that point in time?
See, I was coming back home after seeing my dad and dropping at his home because he was ill. And from sector 5 to sector 60, the drive is about 40 minutes. And once I came onto the golf course extension road, there was one car which was going ahead of me to the left side, came to a bit right, and it touched my car, obviously, because I couldn't brake in time or whatever. And I stopped and I opened my door to see if there's some damage or talk to the other guys. But these, I think there were 5-6 guys who came out immediately with beer bottles in their hands, and they came up to me, and I got a little bit intimidated. Why are they, behaving so, aggressively? But then I told them, look, गलती आपका भी है, ये है, कोई बात नहीं, जो भी डैमेज है ज़्यादा नहीं लग रहा है मेरे को, दे देते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. तो they said, इसको तो हम बाद में देखेंगे, पहले तेरे को देखेंगे. And then they started hitting me and all. They pulled me out of my car.
What I'm dejected at is that they are still not taken down an FIR. They have not registered an FIR, despite knowing the fact there is one guy in the car who's 55 plus, who's served the nation for 30 years. He's been put on the road, beaten by 6 guys. Those 6 guys are out there.
As you can see, retired Colonel Yadav is dejected at the fact that rather than the police questioning the accused and those involved in the crime at the incident site, rather than holding them accountable, he was subject to a breathalyzer and an alcohol test.
उनके साथ एक मारपीट की घटना थाना घाटमपुर पुलिस द्वारा की गई है. ये प्रकरण 19/20 की रात्रि का है. जब घाटमपुर पुलिस गश्त में थी तो एक व्यक्ति जाता हुआ दिखाई दिया और उससे उसका आइडेंटिटी कार्ड आदि मांगा गया तो नहीं दिखा पाया था. पुलिस जनों का आरोप है कि उस व्यक्ति ने इनके साथ बदसलूकी की और उसी क्रम में इस व्यक्ति नीति सचान को थाने पे ला करके उसकी शांति भंग की आशंका में उसका चालान किया गया था. उनके परिजनों का आरोप है कि पुलिस के द्वारा इस व्यक्ति के साथ मारपीट की गई और उनके परिजनों ने एक प्रार्थना पत्र भी दिया है। इस संपूर्ण प्रार्थना पत्र और घटनाक्रम की जांच डीसीपी साउथ को दी गई है और जांच परिणाम के बाद इसमें आवश्यक कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
All right, let's introduce our panelists joining us this evening. We have Lieutenant General KJ Dhillon, who's a former GOC of the Chinar Corps. We have Lieutenant General KJ Singh, who's a former Western Army commander. Also with us is PK Jain, former IPS officer. Dr. Vikram Singh is former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Before I come across to you, gentlemen, let's first get in our first viewer who's joining us with their views on this absolutely shocking spate of incidents that we've been seeing over the last few days. Our first viewer is Anil Deshpande, joining us from Bengaluru. Yes, Anil, go ahead. Your views on the story.
Good evening, Madhav, and good evening to all the panelists. Just I wanted to say that this is not at all acceptable. It is most shameless act has ever happened to any army people, irrespective of whether they are colonel or jawan, whatever it may be. The same thing has happened in Tamil Nadu. Serving jawan was killed by the DMK goons, but nobody has raised their voice except times now. This is what I wanted to say, that a strict punishment should be given to them so that nobody can dare.
Absolutely. No, certainly the violence has no place in society, and respect for the uniform has to be maintained. I think that is no doubt about that, no two ways about that story. In any case, Mr. Deshpande, thanks so much for joining us. Let's quickly take this across. Dr. Vikram Singh, you know, it's one thing when there are incidents of road rage happen. Of course, that should not happen. Every citizen should have a basic sense of duty towards those who are guarding the nation and the kind of difficulties that they themselves undertake. But in cases such as Kanpur, when it is police officials who are accused of doing that, it becomes that much more reprehensible. Your views on this, Mr. Singh?
Madhav G and gentlemen, good evening. I take the strongest exception to what has happened in Kanpur, and what the DCP Chaudhary was saying is just absolutely irresponsible and crass. I repeat, irresponsible and crass. जांच सुपुर्द कर दी गई है, जांच के परिणाम के उपरांत कार्रवाई की जाएगी. This is absolutely not only lukewarm but absolutely dereliction of duty. You should have come down like a ton of bricks on the assailants. You don't have the professional competence to distinguish between the aggressor and the aggrieved, and this is what pains me. We have illustrious General KJ Singh Sahab, General Dhillon sir here, and Mr. PK Jain. Of course, everybody will be agreed to us that we hold the army and the uniformed officers in the highest esteem, and anybody who does not deserve to stay in his job. I would recommend to Raghveer Lal, the police commissioner of Kanpur, to come down very heavily on those delinquents. The police have to be more disciplined, and this is no way to conduct yourself. You have eroded the police credibility and brought it down to an all-time low. If Lamborghini did not do any good to your credibility, this act has also besmirched your uniform and your credibility as nothing else would.
All right, before I go across to our next guest, Asha is joining us from Mumbai over the phone. Yes, Asha.
I'm Asha from Bombay. I think Mr. Vikram Singh is still talking. Yeah.
All right, I request you to switch off your TV and continue talking, please.
I belong to an army family. VSM, Brigadier SSM Palajani and Dr. Colonel TV Palajani from the Indian services. Now, I want to make a request. Please keep the army out of the civilian part. Give identity to every army jawan. Don't get involved with the government. We know what we went through. It used to break my heart when I used to send my uncle to the frontier and have him come back with sharpener in his legs and then struggle in the military hospital. Don't do that.
We understand your sentiment, ma'am. I'd like to thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us your views. General Dhillon, would you like to respond to what she has just stated? Is there need for better identification, perhaps, because once you blend in with the civilian population, and we all know what can happen, you know, from incidents of road rage. Not that it's desirable, but how do we prevent this from happening in the future is a question on the minds of many.
Good evening, Madhav, and good evening to the fellow panelists and all your viewers. Madhav, first of all, the point which the lady made very emphatically, every soldier, while on duty or while on leave, or even a veteran, even self as a veteran, General KJ would agree with me, we always carry out proof of identity on our body. Anywhere, any place where we go, first and foremost thing is, I am so-and-so, and this is the work I have come for. so that your identity is known to the person and you get the, whatever the work is being done, you get it as per your authorization or whatever. Now, coming to the point which has been shown by you on the TV, first of all, let's take one by one. That incident where the Bharat is going on a road and a vehicle is supposed to be honking and they start bashing them. For the benefit of your viewers, road tax is paid by the vehicle owners, not the people walking on foot. For the people walking on foot, there is a footpath. They are supposed to walk on the footpath. And under no circumstance, a Bharat is supposed to be blocking the traffic moving on the road. If a legitimate vehicle who has paid the road tax to the Indian authorities is driving on the road and is being obstructed by someone, of course, it's not a foreign country. Here we are supposed to honk so that those people give the way. Now, if that gentleman has honked to give a way on the road for which his vehicle has paid the road tax and he gets bashed up, that is absolutely nonsense. The local police, the lower ranks of police and the local goons, the political goons, they are hand in glove, and that's why this type of things are happening. Yeah. Second point, the point which was coming up about the identification, malum nahi tha aur humne se poochtaach ki, his face, the blue marks on his face are showing what type of poochtaach ki hai police ne. Do you think people are, blind? Utter nonsense. Manhandling under no circumstances is permitted by the Indian Penal Code. Absolutely. And third point for the benefit of viewers, whenever a soldier or a airman or a naval person, even if he is at wrong and he is brought to the police station, first and foremost duty of the police officer in charge is to inform the local military authority. Inform his unit, his commanding officer, that your jawan, your officer is in the police station under this circumstances or this charge. The local military authority will send someone and he will take either custody or do the documentation.
Okay. Please stay on with us. We have Captain Singh joining us from Jabalpur now. Captain A.K. Singh, over to you.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening to all the panelists. My request is, basically, government must do something about this kind of episodes because service person while in uniform is protected by the law. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
So service persons while in the uniform are protected by the system, whereas when they retire, they are left alone and they have to fend for themselves. Some sort of regulation or guidelines or some sort of moral lecturing to the people as well as to police people have to be done. Otherwise, it is very demeaning and demoralizing to see that people are getting thrashed once they retire. This is not correct. It should not happen.
Absolutely unacceptable. You rightly put it. Let me bring in Mr. P.K. Jain. Now, Mr. P.K. Jain, in the case of at least one of those who we spoke to, he says that an FIR is also not being filed. After the man has been hospitalized, retired officer has been hospitalized, what are the police waiting for? Somewhere or the other, the lack of alacrity would also be emboldening those who are carrying out such crimes.
Madhav, good evening. Thank you very much for having me here. Well, it's absolutely correct what you said. The FIR should have been registered immediately. Action should have been taken against those 5-6 persons. There are sections of writing, hurt, voluntarily causing hurt to the colonel. All those sections should have been applied, which have not been applied. Unfortunately, the incident which took place yesterday again was in Gurugram district. There again, some 3 army personnel have been beaten up by the police. See, unfortunately, what happens, in the case of army personnel is that they are away from their homes for long months. And in their absence, their families face a lot of problem. They are being wronged. They are being bullied. And yet the police does not take any action. And when this person comes back from duty, he comes on leave, then he sees the entire mess which has been created by his adversaries. And either sometimes he takes the law in his hand, or sometimes he reports to the police, which again does not take any action. This happens not only with the police, it happens also with the revenue authorities. As senior police officers, as IPS officers, we have army attachment for 10 days. And I distinctly remember this incident 40 years ago, when the area commander of that area where we had been posted, I was in Jammu, it was very categorically stated by them the kind of difficulties faced by the army personnel and their families. And he had requested to sensitize the policemen down the line, which we did. But unfortunately, as I said, there are two things which Captain before me, the one from the public who spoke to you just now, there are two things which must be done in this case. One is sensitizing the police to take action, be empathetic to the service personnel, and second is enforcement.
Enforcement, very important. Let me bring in Lieutenant General KJ Singh on that. Lieutenant General KJ Singh, do you broadly agree what Mr. Jain is stating here? There's a need for sensitization because he says it's not a problem of today. This is a problem that he has been seeing for the last 4 decades.
Madhav, firstly, Jai Hind. And let me compliment your channel for taking up this very sensitive issue. And I must place on record my appreciation for police officers, senior officers, especially DGP Vikram Singh and Mr. Jain, who are sensitized to this thing. Basically, the problem is at the cutting edge and in the initial phase, people use disproportionate force. Like in Colonel Yadav's case, if only the IO had reached the hospital, resolved the issue, got those people to come and apologize to Colonel, made up for, of course, Colonel has been treated badly. It has happened in the, whatever those guys have done. But there is no attempt to resolve the issues. You know, issues are allowed to spin out of control. Like even in Colonel Bhatt's case, which happened near Patiala, there was no sensitivity. Like you take this Kanpur incident even. If a senior officer goes and intervenes, see, our country has got various redressal mechanisms which are available.
True.
A local corporator, a senior police officer, they go and assert the feelings of this person, get him treated properly. And of course, SOP-wise, what General Tiny Dillon has said is the gold standard.
Okay.
Moment a person says, I am from armed forces,
matter should ideally end there. If there are sensitized officials, then certainly matter should end there. I completely agree with you on that note, but let me quickly bring in some more of our viewers who are joining us on the phone line. Colonel Rakesh is with us from Pune. Yes, Colonel Rakesh.
General, it's such a singular privilege and a pleasure to be amongst such an illustrious panel here. General Dillon, of course, who doesn't know him? General KJ is a friend from Armored Corps days. Dr. Vikram Singh, I really admire very much. I would just place on record to say that it is mandatory for some sort of a statute or some rules or norms or customs be adopted by the police through the police channels to make sure that such incidents don't recur. It is a shame for us to see what has been shown on the TV.
Absolutely. Completely shameful. There's no two ways about it. Colonel Rakesh, thank you so much for joining us. Rustam is with us from Mumbai. Yes, Rustam.
Hi, good evening. So I've heard all the distinguished guests talking about the redressal mechanism and all that. I've got a different take. The redressal mechanism fails. We saw that in 2016 with Colonel Dubash in the Northeast, and the IAS went to help the police cadre. Now, so forget about the redressal cadre or getting help from either the Milords or the IAS or the politician for the armed forces. I would like to do a survey through you. Take any police station anywhere in the country and ask them what AFSPA is, Armed Forces Special Privilege Act.
Special Powers Act, yeah.
They will not know it.
Yeah.
Ask them why it has to be implemented. And the answer to this is that the police cadre has failed in its duty, and that is why we have to get the armed forces.
The AFSPA, of course, is relevant for certain sections of the Northeast, but thanks so much for joining us. I understand your sentiment there. Rustam, there's some breaking updates coming in, and we are told now that some arrests have taken place. Yes, 5 persons have been arrested in the Gurugram assault as far as the assault on ex-colonel is concerned. The beer bottle attack, where we were just discussing grievance, there was no official FIR filed. Now we are told that yes, an FIR has been filed, and these are the 5 goons who are assaulting that retired service personnel. Incidents like this, people like this have to be named and shamed. Dev is joining us from that police station in Gurugram. Dev Kotak, what is the latest? I believe 5 of the 6 accused have now been arrested. The 6th one is still on the run, we are told.
Well, yes, as far as the 6th person is concerned, we have been told that he joined in much later. The police are still in the process of identifying him. These 5 arrested accused persons called up their 6th friend who came in a different car. He is at large at this point in time. But let us show our viewers that this is the car that has been confiscated. This car belongs to the accused. Now, this would cost nothing more than 15 to 20,000. And just for this kind of damage, they badly beat up the colonel. If I can ask cameraman Parshuram to show what's inside the car. They were drinking at that point in time. I don't know if it's visible entirely, but there are some chakna packets, some food packets also, and there are some bottles as well. All these 5 persons who are friends, they had come to Badshahpur in Gurgaon to attend a wedding on 21st, on the day of the incident. So this is the I-20 car the 5 of them were seated in. These are the visuals that we are bringing you from right inside the Sector 50 Gurugram police station out here.
However, right. And, that brings us to a larger malaise, of course, that is there in society. But bigger question about whether this kind of behavior is acceptable or not. But certainly the police taking action is welcome. Better late than never, perhaps, is the way to look at it. Dev Kotak, thanks so much for joining us. We certainly hope there's justice as far as all other cases are concerned. Lieutenant General Dhilan, Lieutenant General Singh, Mr. P.K. Jain, Dr. Vikram Singh, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening.